Thank you everyone for that wonderful performance around the world. Even when some of us decided to stay back, we enjoyed the detour around Freedom Park. This is my first time seeing Ebu in a creative form, not the one that we run away from. All right, thank you. We'll move on to the next program because of the weather. So we begin with the guest mentor stage by one of the
Let's have our seat.
Good afternoon. Um, the big masquerade is on recess, but while he was here with us on that, he performed libation and sacrifice so that our harvest will be big and bountiful. And I'm sure that at times like this in Nigeria, we need that more than anything else. Um, we first have to acknowledge Brownville Radio, Mr. Brown. In this stretch, you will not believe we have a radio station that is running live as we are. And everything we do here is on the internet. It's gone viral. So I think we should give ourselves a round of applause for being here. I want to respectfully call Mr. Tony Akiosho, the Oga Patapata of Committee for Relevant Acts, who is going to say a few things about our special guests and other things that he chooses to do. It's only me that they restrict. I should not say too many words. So, Mr. Tony Akejo, please, round of applause for him.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much, Chair Cora. Thank you for your leadership. Um, Welcome all again. Um, and that was a very, we can clap for ourselves for the wonderful performance of the masquerade. I have a very little job to do. And it is to properly introduce our guest of honor, the guest speaker, Miss Ugoma Ebila, who um, kindly agreed to come speak with us this afternoon. She is a true force of nature herself. She's been in the what you call the art circuit, the Lagos culture scene in the last 15 years, and 12 years ago, I mean, sorry, 12, 13 years ago, she was running the Lighthouse, with her own project where There was always drama performances. There were book readings. There were um, musical, performances. Every other Sunday, there was always something happening. There was movie. You have film shows. You have film evenings, and then she started the live um I mean sorry Light Camera Africa, which is a film festival. It's an ongoing film festival. I mean, a very unique film festival for conscious, film. I mean, films, not just any. I mean, you won't just find any in that festival. It was a very centered event, and it happened at very prestigious places. It either happened at the Balmoral, at the Federal Palace, or somewhere that prestigious. And so that's the kind of person we have, to and the Lighthouse also, had this thing for women. What was it called? Women Rising. I mean, it was also um, quite inspirational. So I mean, Cora has benefited from those gatherings, and so we're truly, truly honored to have her come say a few words to us this afternoon to sort of like key to uh, Cora's segment of the Soyinka at 90 season. Thank you very much, Min. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. 5 minutes. Ten?
No,
Um, so it's a bit humbling to stand under this massive tree at Freedom Park this afternoon, invited by Cora. Um, Mr. Gosho introduced me, and he did his very best. But I think even he, who I collaborated with for maybe at least 10 of those 15 years, if not more, will struggle. And that's because art is a continuum. The reason why we'll always struggle probably to introduce ourselves is a good thing because we're here under the auspices of literature, perhaps. Literature brought me here, but literature didn't really bring me here because the relationship with Professor Soyinka is beyond literature. And I think all of us in the room we can identify as artists or at least um, sympathizers of the arts, which means that we all wear multiple hats. And so I argue most of the time when people try to put me in a box to describe me, I think the best thing that describe me is a multi-arts curator with many facets of art. But it's almost impossible to love literature but not love music. It's almost impossible to love photography but not film, or film without photography, because everything things is important. Seeing the connectivity between facets of the art is important, and choosing whichever or bloom or the interventions. My intervention has also been because of the likes of Cora. Um, we're sitting in a we're sitting here to celebrate and reflect on the life and all the facets that life has inspired. We will see photography and almost like a photo journey. We'll read and reflect. We've seen Masquerade perform. um, conduit. And I think in any culture of arts, the book is masquerade, right? Anything that can allow you to travel, to connect between worlds is masquerade. So perhaps we're all just heathens, or perhaps we're all just high intellectuals. Who knows? Who's making this definition? These are the things that I standing here looking at the school teacher because I thought that I was coming to teach. Maybe I didn't even need to dress up to teach. Maybe I should just come in the boo boo I was wearing before I left my house. But I thought to honor you because I'm always happy to share. The same way I've been shared with and for is how I feel I need to share. And the main inspiration of this all is a man whose name is WS and who I was privileged to be in Morocco with last week, where the Kingdom of Morocco celebrated him. And the summary for me is that whatever you're doing, do it fully. A very dear professor, another professor, Chike Nyako, once told me that every artist is supposed to be prepared to die on the cross of his art. We know a not so clear artist who died on a cross. He was Jesus Christ. But in the sense that when Anyako uses it, is about facing your front fully, whatever it is you've decided. Is it poetry? And you're going to decide that you're going to die on the course of your poetry. And if we look at the likes of Professor Soyinka and his ilk, they didn't know they were going to become stars. It's actually now in retrospect we can talk about how important that courage was. But none of them. Tina Achebe was writing. JP Clark was doing, Wole was doing, everybody has been doing. This is the consistency that we can all attest to if you read any of these histories. So it's to encourage us all, like I have just been doing, and look at all the, things that Mr. Kyosho said about me in my own little 15 to 20 years, and I'm one of many. Like I am one of many. I feel a bit embarrassed that there is so much reference. But I think it's important. The reason why there's so much reference is that maybe not enough of us are doing and gathering others. So you do and you pull the ladder down for somebody else. You do and you encourage somebody else. You do and you share. You do and you teach and you do and you carry so that we will be many trees. We won't just be one. We will be many. And that's again the legacy that we're all here sort of celebrating. Beyond the prolific work that has been done, is a prolific human being, is a prolific, courageous person who has spoken about injustice, is an aesthete, a lover of life, a very funny person, right? And we all know about humor. You know, you have to be able to see the many facets of life to even find humor. A lover of life. I mean, we all know about his penchant for wine. You have to live. You don't have to be a square. You don't also have to, be anybody's definition. You don't have to be anybody's definition. So the Western definition, the new neo-Nigerian definition, which also has so many steeps in Western definitions, which again we need to question. I don't want to ramble too much, but all I want to do is encourage the artists in every one of us to know that it's enough. Art for art's sake is enough, and you're consistent enough, and you're diligent enough, and you're excellent enough, you will be heard. And those of us who are not creating anything with our hands, I create with my connections, I create with my platform. Is that as long as we're all creating something valuable, whatever it is we're doing, these worlds will meet. And it's an honor to stand here again in a place that I call home. Because the Freedom Park has also hosted my festival. The Freedom Park has hosted exhibitions. I have taken cover from the trees, literal trees, as well as the cultural trees that have been planted here, as they do at mine, and on it goes. And that's how we can be a little bit of of a semblance of the likes of the WS and that generation. This is the call I think that is being made, that we can stay here and celebrate 90, but that to hope that we don't just become 90, but we become 90 with impact. We become 90, and that when we die, the world shutters because we have taken a light with us. that all of us can be light, and there's no better thing that is a conduit for light than to revel and live in the arts. Whether you're a writer, a performer, an artist, a painter, a musician, a filmmaker, a photographer, whatever. So I think that I will hand the mic back to whoever is supposed to collect it, and to just say a thank you for for asking me to be here, and I'm available. So please, mality, and as much as you called me a professor, just to also that I'm actually going back to school. So maybe you have professed something into my own destiny, because you can't stop learning and you will have to always keep learning, always keep learning. If you have the privilege to go back to a formal education, do so. If not, always pick up a book. University of YouTube is the most wonderful place in the world. Or do like Mr. Kyosho, who accessory after he's worn his shoes is the book that he's holding in his hand. Thank you, and I wish you all wonderful pursuits in your studies and in your cultural and artistic life. Yeah, amen.
Thank you very much, Ma, for that wonderful speech. So sorry about the technicalities, the things. I don't know. This is Nigeria, and we are human. We are not perfect, like Mom have said. So the projection or what we plan for somehow we have to direction. So we'll move on to the special guest for the honor for today's event. We have the person who I call my brother. The first time we met together, I said, "Wow, very like simple." So I'll be introducing TJ Webster, right? Yes, for this event.